There is a new report out detailing the investigation into the Trump Bible photo op. Now, that photo op, of course, was preceded by the violent removal of peaceful protesters from Lafayette Square. Now, this report has some pretty damning new details. Now, the Justice Department Inspector General released a report which indicates that then Attorney General William Barr came up with the idea of using anonymous corrections officers to do the crowd control. So now this allowed federal law enforcement to operate with an anonymity and all but eliminates accountability when force is inevitably used against demonstrators, writes Justice reporter Ryan Riley over on Twitter. He also cited the senior Justice Department official crediting Barr with the idea of bringing in federal prison corrections officers, calling it an example of Barr's out-of-the-box thinking. Ah, yes, out of the box. You know, police brutality, zero accountability, out of the box. So, look, one of the big problems with that, of course, is like they're not wearing anything that identifies them as, where they are from, what department they were in. And so you didn't have any accountability whatsoever if they decided to bash in faces. And of course they did. They gassed protesters. And so accountability, Bill Barr's idea, avoiding accountability. So, and now, of course, this is so that Trump could get a photo op. That's probably the second worst thing about this, right? The reason, going in and bashing protesters and gassing them and all that, removing peaceful protesters, that's bad enough. That's the worst thing. But then just the reason for it, so that Donald Trump could stand and hold the Bible in front of a church for a photo. That's it. Oh, but Jeff, the 2020 report said they didn't actually do that. They didn't just remove the protesters for Trump's photo op. No, that's fake news. So that 2021 report, right? And look, you do a search for it online. That's what you see. Oh, not the reason that the cops cleared the protesters. No, not at all. That turns out to be a lie. So now, what happened here, that report claimed that the U.S. Park Police didn't clear the square of protesters so that Trump could do a photo op. The preliminary report said the evidence we obtained did not support a finding that the USPP, the United States Park Police, cleared the park to allow President to survey damage and walk to St. John's Church. Instead, the evidence we reviewed showed that the USPP cleared the park to allow the contractor to safely install anti-scale fencing in response to destruction of property and injury to officers occurring on May 30th and 31st. That report was not accurate. All right? Turns out, Park Police and Secret Service didn't clear the square at all. Barr brought in others, the corrections officers, to do it for him. Okay. It also says the fencing wasn't going to be put up until the morning of June 3rd. Trump's photo op was on June 1st, which means Barr ordered these, people that couldn't be identified, all right, these corrections officers in there to clear it out, not so that they could put up the fencing, but he could just have his photo op. They lied about the reason. And that's not the only lie, of course. NBC reporter Garrett Hawk took photos of the armed riot police as reporters asked who they work for. All the insignias and nameplates have been removed, he reported at the time. The report said that the Bureau of Prisons had declined to verify whether the armed men photographed facing off with peaceful protesters did in fact work for the Bureau of Prisons. But wait, they just said, oh, we're not going to verify, we don't know who they work for. Do they work for us? No, we're not going to say. Oh, okay. No, they knew what they were doing, okay? And I'm talking about people in charge, Barr, right? He knew that he was using unidentifiable officers from the Department of Prisons to act as the personal Gestapo for Donald Trump. Now, these officers knew that crowd control wasn't their job. In fact, the BOP does not traditionally deploy personnel in a public-facing role outside of the prison setting. And since it wasn't their job, of course, they say, well, we didn't know the rules. We didn't know we weren't supposed to bash people's faces in. In fact, one officer explained that for an inmate, we know our use of force. We know exactly what we can and can't do when an inmate does something in a facility. A little bit different out here with a teenager and a cell phone. Well, we saw what happened when these officers were up against the teenager with the cell phone. They were told to beat them up anyway, beat up the protesters. In fact, the volume of illegal orders from Barr clearing Lafayette Square are stunning, says James DeSarno. The lack of accountability is the roadmap for civil rights being stripped away. And that was the point. Sending the secret police, okay? Because they're secret, because we didn't know who they are, where they were from. And they in the Department of, the Bureau of Prisons was like, I don't know. Well, I can't tell you. These are secret police out there executing illegal orders for a photo op, okay? And that included gassing peaceful protesters. Also that dear leader could get his precious, precious photo. This is not an accident. This is exactly how it was meant to go down, okay? I believe that. I don't think this is a bug. This is a feature. This is fascism. William Barr, I believe he needs to be held accountable for this. But knowing the way that our system is, he probably won't. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.